Okay, it looks like my bitrate is good and we're not as laggy as we were last time. Hopefully that will keep happening because last time was a little bit rough for anyone who was here last stream. Alright, welcome everybody. My name is Poetentate, but I go by Poe, and I stream Honkai Star Rail and probably eventually Genshin Impact. Though currently I'm a little bit tired of Genshin, taking a little break from it. But we'll probably get back on track with it soon because Fontaine is coming. Yeah, and so I think that about does it. I can. Hi, yes, I'm a few minutes late, but welcome. Yes, I just got back from the grocery store like literally 10 minutes ago, so I had to put all of my stuff away, and I just downed a cold brew that I bought at said grocery store real fast so I could hop on the computer. But I've been pretty good. Yeah, how about you? How is it going at this time and not being like 2 o'clock in the morning for you? Alright, let's see what achievements I got while you all weren't here. Unlock 12 Blessings of Abundance. Ooh, pancakes. Do you put anything in your pancakes? Like vanilla, chocolate chip, blueberries, anything like that? Or just normal, like, just like basic pancakes? Which is nothing wrong with them. I'm just saying, like, normal pancakes. Because I, depending on the day, will put any of those in. I always put vanilla in my pancakes, like vanilla extract. So good. But sometimes I'm like, all right, some chocolate chips or blueberries, depending on what I have on hand and how I feel. No. Oh yes, vanilla is so good. I would suggest anyone who makes pancakes, it will make your pancakes 2 times better. All right, so this is one of the newest events that's currently occurring, and why I am playing catch up so much, as the title suggested, because as you can see, 14 more days of this one, and I have not gotten to this part of the quest, because I think you have to get through all of the quests on the Wafu to unlock this event, and obviously I am behind. I want to know who is the voice actor for her, because that sounds amazing every time I hear it. Of course, Blade is currently the one who is running. Not super interested in getting him. He's cool character design wise. He runs a lot like Xiao for anyone who plays Genshin. And because I have Luoxia, it might be good, but I'd prefer to have 5-star Danheng when he comes out, or even Kafka. Can't save for both. So, we'll have to skip on Blade. We will take his free tickets. I haven't really seen much of him. He's been in like 2 cutscenes, and that's all I've gotten of him. I'm very suspicious of... I'm getting more and more suspicious of Jing Yuan, though. I was really determined to get him, but the more I play him, or see him in the quest, I'm like, you're very suspicious, sir.
Life is as ephemeral as dew on a leaf, and full of worldly strife.
Stop breaking the 4th wall, sir. You're not Sampo. I really want 5-star Danheng. Oh my gosh. My husband, please come home. But Kafka is before him, and so I'm like, do we go with mother or do we go with husband? These are the questions that I am stuck with. As I stated, if it's Kafka with pupils, not getting her. If the playing model is Kafka with pupils, will not pull for her. If it's Kafka without the pupils, definitely will. And so I just want to update everyone where we are on different things. So as you saw, it did say that I had the abundance, so I did unlock that path. Oh, ability tree. This is where I am in the ability tree. I have quite a bit of it. Yes, I really want him to. But here's where I am on the ability tree. I just gotta unlock these last bits, which is very heavy investment. So we're working on it. And then we finally unlocked the abundance path. So I have all of the eons now. She looks really cool. She's like creepy as well. We have 145 out of the 154 blessings, 37 out of 38 events. We are so close. We are just missing... We're just missing this one. And then we're only missing 3 of the curios, which is the abundance one, and then these 2. And then... Nope, not that one. Not that one either. I will find what I'm looking for eventually. That's what I was. And so we have all 22 of every single path except for the abundance because I just unlocked it. 3 of these are from pulling those big events, so I'm only missing from random pulls these 6. I haven't been using them because the only way I've been able to successfully get through the worlds, like the higher level worlds, is picking the hunt path. And so, to give me that extra firepower I need to actually be able to defeat the world bosses. But I have at least defeated World 5 level 1 and World 6 level 1. Have not gotten to World 7 yet because I haven't gotten the quest. So that's where I am there. Let me show you all where I am in the... No, I wanted to go to the parlor car. This one. The Forgotten Hall. I'm getting closer. I think I showed you all the
Forgotten Hall.
Yes. I showed you all this last time. So I have all of the stars up till 12. So I just barely got through 12. So we're almost done with this first section, and then we'll be able to unlock probably this purple one. So I'm trying to think if there's any... Why are you always crying every time? Oh, it's this supply one. I swear, every time I come on the express, Pom Pom gives me, like, Pom Pom is crying. And, like, depressed. Oh, where are you on? I forget a lot of times that this thing exists, and so I end up, like, speed running a bunch of them. Where are you on the simulated universe in Forgotten Hall? Let's see, and then I showed you all achievements. There it is. So we're at 212, so we're doing pretty good on achievements. Okay, that's not too bad. I feel like a lot of people forget that Forgotten Hall even exists. Like, it's not like the, shoot, what is it called in Genshin? The Abyss in Genshin, which gives you like 800 primos every time. So like I feel like a lot of people forget this exists, honestly. So that's most of the update. And then I've almost gotten all of my characters up to the next ascension lock, which is 60. I just need to get Arlen up 2 more levels. And then I'll start working on everybody's light cones, getting everybody's light cones up to 60. And then, of course, traces. And then we can go to the next world level difficulty. And I will cry. But it is how it is. So yeah, so that's everything update-wise. So you all could see how my characters are doing. And then, of course, we got 2 new side missions on the Lao Fu. And then 1 companion quest, the Equilibrium level up, which I'm not gonna do until I get the stuff I already showed you all done. And then the main quest, which we are continuing because we really need to get to that event before it times out. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of 4-star relics from the Lafu. What was I gonna show you all? Now, see, I have enough that I can do a limited time pull. My only, because I'm kind of tempted to do a limited pull, even though I don't need Blade, or don't really want him, because Sushang, yep. That Sushang is on this banner, and she is literally the only 4-star character I do not have. And when it comes to pity, I am only on, like, 4 pity on this banner. So there's like almost no, there is a potential, but there's almost no potential I'll have to deal with getting Blade. So like I'm kind of tempted to pull because I need to finish out my collection of 4-star characters. And so I kind of want to pull on it. But I also know from what's happened on my Genshin account is you should never pull on a banner where you don't want the 5-star because you'll end up getting the 5-star. It's what happened with Hu Tao. I have a Hu Tao now, not because I wanted her, but because Toma came out on her banner, and I desperately wanted Toma, and so I ended up getting Hu Tao. That's true, yeah. I wonder, speaking of losing, is Clara the new Chi-Chi? Because anytime someone's like, oh, I'm gonna lose the 50-50 on Genshin, they reference Chi-Chi. Right? And I've seen so many people trying to pull for Blade and showing Clara, so I'm curious if Clara's the new Chi-Chi that everybody always loses to. But speaking of, so there's just in case people haven't seen it, is it on here? See, I would have thought so too, but anytime I go online where people are like, oh, I'm losing to a character, it's always Clara. So I was wondering if Clara is like the new Chi-Chi. Trying to find where it is. Ah, here it is. All right, so if you go to the regular banner, right, and you go to character trial, you can actually try out all of the characters that are on the standard banner and get primos. Or not primos, Stellar Jade. So you can get some quick Stellar Jade if you haven't done this already. And from people who I actually like the kit for, Himiko, really like her kit. Welt, really like his kit. Bronya's okay. I wouldn't really play her, even though I have her. The game really wants me to be a Bronya main. I don't really like her kit. I'm more of a just like throw everything at them. I only have 2 play styles. It's either just dump immense amounts of damage on my enemies and hope for the best that I have enough defense to survive. Or ranged attack where I literally have glass cannon of characters, but I'm like a million miles away from the enemy, so even if it takes me like 30 minutes to kill the enemy, they can't touch me because I'm like a bajillion years away from them. Unfortunately, that's not how this game works. You can't do that. So Bronya's not really my style of like character in this kind of game. Obviously love Gepard. Gepard's kit's amazing. So glad he's the first one I got. I actually liked Clara's kit in this tryout, but you do kind of have to make the entire team work around her to make the best use of her kit, like in this standard tryout. But I do like her kit. So I wouldn't be, plus I have her 5-star light cone already. He's pretty standard of a character. Like, he's better than some of these other ones that I don't really like as much. And then Bailu is a good, decent healer. I also love the color theme with Bailu. But yeah, so just as a reminder, like, make sure you do this. But I've seen so far, like, character-wise, he's that one character that's like so self-assured that they're an absolute badass, and then they're about to get their butt absolutely demolished, is what I've seen so far in the main game when it comes to him. He's like, oh, I could totally take on this Stellaron hunter. He'll be nothing but dust beneath my feet. And then he leaves against his general's orders. And it's like, sir, that's not how the army works. But we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, all this to say, I'm very tempted to pull. So I can see if I can get Sushang. But yeah, I'm actually like a fan of quite a few of the standard characters. I think there's only like a few of them that I'm not particularly excited for. I have been trying so hard to not see spoilers for the new update. Oh my gosh. Like, literally, I'm so happy that at least currently TikTok is still and like a lot of like Tumblr is still having like spoiler for the new update, which they'll probably give for like another 2 weeks before people won't put like spoiler alerts on it, because then they're like, oh, everyone will have seen it by now. I've seen like a few details, but every time I'll like register a detail and I'll immediately throw my phone like 50 feet away, being like, no, I don't want to know. It's like, I want to know, but I want to know when I get there in the game. So marginally. But yeah, so I only have 4 pity. So we're gonna pull. We make terrible decisions. This is why I can never go to Las Vegas. Alright, we're gonna pull. And we're gonna hope to get Sushang. So that I can finish out my 4-star collection. So this is gonna be 14. And the only reason he would ever come home at 14 pity is to mock me. So, we'll see. Okay. So far in the clear. Now we just gotta pray that we get the 4-star we want. Husband! I was trying to get this frickin' light cone so much on Jing Yuan's banner, would not come home to save my life. Wrong banner, but it came home anyway. It's like, no Sushang, but you get your husband's light cone. Alright. Again, there is no reason for this man with bandaged titties to come home at 24 pity. And he would only do it for mockery, because this character seems like the type to enjoy mocking people. So we'll do one more pull, because I have enough for it, and we're at low enough pity. Okay, we're in the clear. We're in the clear, guys. Now, Sushang, I know I've made fun of your chicken that you call a phoenix, but please finish out my collection. I had to insult the chicken. That's all I needed to do. I see, I see. And with that, everyone, we have finished out the 4-star collection, and we didn't accidentally pull a 5-star that we didn't mean to. Alright, let's see. There she is! I don't think I have any light cones that technically are for her. Nope. Anyway, let's see how much we can... I have no level up materials. I forgot I dumped them all into Arlen. Well, I guess I won't be changing to light cones today, considering I now have a new character to get up to speed with everyone else. But look at that! I have all the 4 stars now! There's not a single 4-star that I do not have. We're not gonna do any pulls on the weapon banner though, because I have the weapon banner at 52 pity, and that's a little too close for comfort. We don't want to accidentally get Blade's 5-star light cone and not have Blade, because that would be annoying. So Sushang will have to wait to get her customized light cone. But yes, finally we have all of the 4 stars. So now we just gotta see if the playable version of Kafka has her pupils or not. And then we will be, we'll get to see who we're pulling for. Alright, who's on the express with us today? We have Hook over here, and we have Asta over there. If I talk to them, you get, like, Stellar Jade if you talk to them.
Outside the window is the universe?
You say that like we're not at the like we're not at the space station. You need to look over there if you... Oh, I am so excited for Luca. I actually have his light cone already.
The stars look like candy. You're pretty stupid for an honorary member. How can you grab stars from so far away?
Excuse me, I have a star trapped inside my body currently.
All these stars surrounding us? The Express is like a traveling theme park, warp jumping through candy. Which means you live inside a warp jumping candy theme park? Oh, not fair. Hook hereby declares the Astral Express the mole's newest adventure route. Full speed ahead, honorary member.
Okay, but speaking of which, I was kind of sad that in the new update they haven't given us, like, so in Genshin they have the teapot, right? So I was really expecting, since they already have a mechanic like that, that they were going to, where is it? Well, first of all, I almost have this thing superimposed to max. There we go. One more. Alright, here he is. Can I... Details. I have it. I have his 4-star card already. I'm excited to get him. I'm pretty sure he's coming in Kafka's banner too. So that'll give me a chance, especially if I'm pulling for Kafka, to also get him. But yes, I have his 4-star. I am excited to get him. He looks fun. Yes. We're very excited, everyone, for Luca. He's just so pretty. It's weird. Well, maybe not. I was about to be like, it's kind of weird that they released Yukong before him, considering that more people that are new to the game would still be on Belobog instead of on the Luofu. So it'd make more sense to release him as a new 4-star before Yukong, because you would maybe meet him. But we never met him when we were on Belobog, so I guess that makes sense. We just heard rumors about him when we were on Belobog. But yes, I am very excited for Luca once he comes out and ruins my my current ability to say I have all of the 4 stars. Let's talk to Asta.
If a space telescope were deployed at this location on the Express, it would almost certainly be possible to observe shorter wavelengths.
Feels like a good angle.
I sure do. You know, I was racking my brains before I boarded the Express, but now I've got more ideas than I know what to do with. Inspiration is a fickle mistress. My thesis might just be related to the Express. I hope you'll agree to be interviewed later. I need first-hand information. Well, of course, there are other things in life, too. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Well, I've been on the Express before, but this is my first visit with you on board. Looking forward to it.
There we go. Alright, now that we have gotten our Stellar Jade for speaking to them. But yeah, so I was kind of sad that they haven't implemented the, because I'm expecting that what's gonna happen is that, eventually, either one of these rooms or this back door here is going to be what leads to our trailer car room, and then we'll be able to make like a personalized room like this, like the teapot. Though I do hope they have like as many accessories like this so I can really fill in the space. Angry Clara. Oh, she has one of Kafka, that's cool. There's Jin Yuan. Isn't this part of Dan Heng's daydream, though? And then why do they have fourth wall breaking Sampo? Where did you get these photos, March? There's Blade from Dan Heng's Nightmare. I would like to know where she got some of these photos. But she's got quite a few photos from Dan Heng's Nightmare, and then Sampo breaking the fourth wall. Okay. But yeah, I really am excited for when whatever patch they release this on, but whenever they finally let us, like, have our own train cart so that we can fill it in with, like, stuff. That'll be exciting. I am really kind of scared on what— oh, a note? Interesting. Didn't expect that to be in Dan Heng's room. Oh, the floor is cool. I am a little bit concerned though that, from what just the fact that he doesn't have a personalized room, he's in the archive itself. And then also, like, during one of the cutscenes, Himiko raised the flag of, "You'll be back, right?" And then Dan Heng did not reply, like, verbally. He just nodded. We're setting up flags that Dan Heng's not getting back on the express with us after this mission is over, which makes me very sad. But what will be the twist is where he goes. Will he be staying on the La Fu, or will he be joining the Stellaron Hunters? That's what I'm curious about, like, where is he gonna be going if he leaves the Astral Express? Now, if I get my choice, and I can pick this choice, we will bind and hogtie him and drag him back to the Express if we need to. But I'm curious where that's going. Okay, so back to what we were doing. Dan Heng is one of us, and he will remain one of us, whether we have to keep him kicking and screaming the entire way to do so. Oop, we're in front of a wall. So we did a lot of puzzle solving in the last video. So back to the main story.
The dead tree Qingxue showed us earlier? How did it grow all of a sudden?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Even the long-lived might not witness something like this in their lifetime. I'm so lucky.
Okay, Tingyun, you need to calm down. You sound like you're about to pass out and a little creepy. But also, doesn't the tree look corrupted? Like, this looks a little concerning.
Such extraordinary energy. It's the Stellaron.
Mr. Yang, do you mean the Stellaron is making the ambrosial arbor grow?
Yes, the Stellaron the Cloud Knights are searching for must be causing this anomaly. Well, considering this thing cradles the entire ship,
That's a little bit bad that the Stellaron is corrupting it. Just the shock.
Looks good.
Alright, where are we when it comes to... Okay, we're only missing one treasure chest and the warp trotter will show up eventually. Probably have, like, at one point in the future, just me running around the map, getting all the warp trotters. Not gonna tell us not to go over here. There's the space anchor. Oh, the delivery bird. Okay, so you need to go... And then rotate it. And then here. No. I'm literally, my brain is dying trying to do this, and I don't know why. We are not doing good puzzles today, apparently. One down, resume, and then, no, go back.
Nice.
I'm usually great at puzzles, but today my brain is fried, I guess. Oof. No, wait a minute. Not that. Go back out. And then... Da-da, da-da, da-da. But here... Nope. I'm literally undoing and redoing the same thing.
Nice.
And we have ended back up where we were 5 minutes ago. Nope. Go here. Go down. Go up. Nope. Okay, good idea, but... Put that there.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, that took more of my brain cells than it possibly should have. My gosh, that was painful, even for me to have to witness, let alone you all, I'm sure. But... okay, I guess we will come back. The risk factor is high for this area. Please remove obstacles before progressing forward.
Rules are made to be broken.
Here, this thunder!
And then it's reborn.
Is that all?
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so speaking of reborn, I promised in the last episode, I don't know how many of you actually care, but that I would explain debut or die, and that I wouldn't just, like, forget about it. So we're gonna do that while we're running around looking at things. Alright, so debut or die is one of those ones where you have a character who, he dies in some manner, right? Whether it's Truck-kun or something else.
Reach the end of the
And then he
story
goes
in your
back
own
in
way.
time. But the difference with this one is he does not go back in time to his own body. He goes back in time to a different body. So he...
The dead return!
Debut or Die is a webtoon that I have been reading. In the last episode I talked about some of the webtoons I have
Made
been
to be
reading
broken.
that are really good that I would suggest reading yourself. And so he goes back in time in someone else's body. So once he's gone back in time, where's the crane? And we are not going to click on the crane again, because the last time we clicked on the crane for a second time, it forcefully, like, knocked me out, like, froze me in the game. Anyway, so at the time that he is in the past, both his original body exists, or at least conceptually it does. He has not checked in to see if his original personhood is still alive in this new time frame or not. But he exists, but then him from the future also exists in this different body. He has a system in this new body that tells them that he has to debut as an idol, right? Debut as an idol. And if he does not debut as an idol within a certain time limit, the system is just gonna kill him. Like, that's why it's called debut or die, is for that reason. And so... Oh, this is the part I couldn't walk past earlier. Okay. And so that's why it's called that. And so the system helps him with, like, getting... Yeah, debut or die is what the webtoon is called. And so the system helps him with points so that he can get skills. And then he uses his knowledge from his first life, just like any isekai reincarnator protagonist, to help him in his current life. I think that's all of the chests now. Yep. And so he uses his ability so that he has a better chance, because he's currently on, like, a reality television show that is helping, like, train newbie idols to help them debut. And so it's him going through all the different, like, nonsense of this reality television show to try and... Okay.
Unless Kafka deceived the Matrix of Prescience.
Stay calm, Diviner Fu. The Matrix of Prescience does not lie. The logic you have laid out concerning Kafka makes sense. It has helped me to fill in another piece of the puzzle. I agree there is a hostile external force at work on the Luofu. The Stellaron didn't appear out of thin air. Someone managed to sneak it onto the ship. As for the culprits behind the Luofu's internal strife, I believe we are dealing with the so-called disciples of Sanctus Medicus. That shadowy organization of the denizens of abundance. Kafka's revelations confirm my suspicions.
General, when did you have these suspicions?
The moment the planter of the Stellaron revealed themselves. The Xianzhou has the blessing of the Rainbow Arbiter, and only another Eon Emanator would be capable of sneaking onto this ship without my knowing. We are dealing with an external threat. The Stellaron corrosion continues to flood into the ship, and yet it bypassed both the seat of divine foresight and the shackling prison. There is forethought here. Our enemy must have had access to Luofu intelligence for things to unfold in this way. It is evident now. The Stellaron hunters aren't the ones behind the curtain. No. As soon as I set eyes on Blade, it was clear to me. But why is he here? And why did he draw the Astral Express? That piece of the puzzle still eludes me. Nevertheless, Lady Fu, your intel means the puzzle is more complete than it was before. The Stellaron hunters are a captivating group. Such lengths to get the Xianzhou and the Express onto the same track. Who would have believed it?
I just noticed her little pendant thing. These are dragon heads. That's cool.
General, we must retain all urgency. The Ambrosial Arbor.
It's the Stellaron. No need to search high and low. The traders have planted it in the Ambrosial Arbor's delve, thereby causing the tree to grow once again. The disciples of Sanctus Medicus couldn't hold off any longer.
Every crisis is a turning point. A problem is easier to resolve when you know where it lies. Am I coming up with a plan again?
She's like, you're forcing me to do the work again. You're the one who wants to be in charge and take over his job. You're gonna have to make up the plans. But that also explains like why the Marastruck are like getting so bad recently, or like turning people, because the Marastruck look like they're growing tree roots, right? With the tree leaf symbolism. Yes. Have you seen any of the leaks of her like her ultimate attack? It looks so cool. They're just hitting us with like really hard, like, which banner are you pulling for, with like some really hard choices one after the other. Oh, you haven't? Her ult looks so amazing. I mean, yes, I am too deep into TikTok, hence why my phone gets thrown a lot. But yeah, it's like they were like, oh, we're gonna hit you with Blade, then after that's Kafka, then after that is 5-star Dunhung, and then after that is Fu Xuan. You're just gonna have to make some choices or open your wallet, one of the two. Thank you. Yes, I see them. But yes, my TikToks don't really have anything to do with Honkai though. A lot of it ends up being Pokemon, because I just find the most amusing TikTok filters that currently show up on my For You page. But yeah, thank you for watching them. The quality's not the best because recording my little avatar on my computer model always leaves those weird streaks, but we're trying to fix that. But yeah, I don't know why my computer lags so hard with the cutscenes. The rest of the game runs fine, but for some reason the cutscenes, my computer's like, oh, the graphics, they're too hard.
Of course. I'm sure you have a countermeasure at the ready, Master Diviner.
From my perspective, convening the Cloud Knights is our immediate priority. We must head into the roots of the Ambrosial Arbor, expel the Stellaron spirits, and prevent the Arbor's resurrection.
By the way, we're slowly gonna get like all of the different Eon's powers, right, as the Trailblazer. I cannot wait until we get the Remembrance Eon, whose name is Shuli. I love Shuli's design. Oh my gosh. One day I will figure out how to cosplay Shuli. Fuli, not Shuli, Fuli. But oh my gosh, I love Fuli, and then once I get Fuli's power, just because I enjoy that that Archon so much, we're never changing out of it. I want that Archon to be under that Archon's like umbrella so bad. I was like trying to think of a word.
As ever, the Master Diviner's Omniscia provides for the fastest solution. However, sometimes speed is not everything. I have known the Stellaron's location for a while now. So why have I held back our forces?
Why does Jing Yuan really remind me of Zhongli? Like, Zhongli is like a harsher version of Jing Yuan. Because, like, he was the leader of all of his people, right? And he for a while, he delicately has worked with them. Prior to that, it was a lot more harsh during the war, but he's like very slowly like trying to raise people up to take over power so that he can retire, which is what Jing Yuan's trying to do. He's trying to raise a good enough like a government system to take over his place so that he can retire. But Zhongli was like, I'm just going to drop them into the deep end and see if they can swim, kind of like the people who just throw babies into a pool and see if they actually survive it or not. Where Jing Yuan's trying to do it a bit more delicately than that, but he gives me Zhongli vibes, which I can see why I was interested in this character from the get-go because of that, because I love Zhongli. I am already like saving primos and wishes in the bank for his rerun that is supposedly coming with Fontaine's drop. I want C6 Zhongli so bad, you guys don't even understand. I'm not gonna get it anytime soon because I only get like one what do you call it? Literally can't think of the word. I'll call it that's all the time. I'll get like 1C every single one of his banners, so I currently have C1 Zhongli. Because I got it on his third banner rerun. I joined the game on his second rerun, but I lost my 50-50. I got him on his third rerun, and I got my second one of him on his fourth rerun. The pattern is I'm only getting one of him each time his banner shows up, so it's gonna be a while till I get C6, but I am determined to get C6 because my perfect team in Genshin is C6 Zhongli because he becomes a healer once he's C6, so he'll run both healer and tank. Alhaitham, Kazuha, and Diluc. That is my perfect team, and I will only, if I need a different element than one of those 4 elements, I'll sub in people in place of Kazuha. But yeah, that is my perfect team, and I am determined to get my team up to C6 eventually. Ayato was gonna be my Hydro character, but anyone who's seen the new Fontaine leak knows that Nuvette is going to be a Hydro character, so you know Ayato might have to go to bat to stay as my favorite Hydro man.
General,
Well,
you're a scoundrel.
Yes, Queen! Drag him! Oh my gosh, this is everything I want to say to this man. He's so suspicious and an absolute fiend. Yes, drag him.
pulling up the grass requires removing the roots. The disciples of Sanctus Medicus have chosen to make their move now, which means the Cloud Knights have the situation under control and the traitors have run out of patience. Now is the time to capture them all in one fell swoop.
Okay, now I know exactly who this man is Zhongli and Ayato put together. That's exactly who this reminds me of. He has Ayato's like softer personality in the fact that he's not just going to drop you into the deep end and see if you can do it yourself like Zhongli would, but he's also stepping back from the role to kind of do it from the shadows, but he's like super intelligent, but then he has like Zhongli's personality. That's what it is.
You've been sitting on that this whole time? How will you justify the losses if something goes wrong, General?
Yes, drag him.
Please, Lady Fu. I still have forces to deploy. We were in need of extra hands, and the Stellaron hunters were kind enough to bring us together with the Astral Express. How could I look the other way?
I'm kicking this man in the balls the minute I have him in my physical presence in the game. I'm stealing all of his fountain pens. something to be annoying to this man. His arches in his feet, he cannot save them. I'm crushing them. I'm doing something. If I have to move all of his furniture just an inch to the left just to drive this man insane, I'm going to do it. I'm gonna feed his lion catnip so that it's on a catnip high for the next 3 days. Something. No, that's the best answer. I'm gonna hide catnip all over his office so that his lion absolutely destroys it, and then he'll finally clean it up and it will destroy it again because new catnip will be found. Perfect. We must annoy him. More errands.
The General's smiling again. Definitely errands. It's my fault. I had higher expectations of the General.
Yes, Queen.
Please, we can't keep getting them to do everything for us. Since when did we run out of people on the Lawfu?
We appreciate her going to bat for us. We're gonna have to pull for her strictly because she is absolutely dragging this man.
Why are you staring at me?
Oh my gosh, that looks uncomfortable for his neck.
Do I need to remind you, General, that the Ambrosial Arbor's access point is a closely guarded secret? Allowing Outworlders would be
A violation of the rules and regulations. I would like to remind you, Lady Fu, that the Xianzhou comes before its rules and regulations, all the more so in times of crisis.
My man looks like he's breaking his neck. Bend your knees or something.
I'm about to make a decision that runs counter to those rules and regulations. Oh, decisions plural. What a rare pleasure.
My man, bend your knees or something. Your neck looks like it's about to get sprained.
Lady Fu, I hereby issue you with the military tally. The Cloud Knights will be under your control. You will act in concert with the other forces in the approach to the Ambrosial Arbor through the Alchemy Commission Delve.
under my control?
You've been eager to discover for yourself what it is to be a general, have you not?
He's bribing her with power. He's like, look the other way and I'll turn you into a general.
You've never given me the opportunity, and now suddenly... Understood.
Not the bribery working.
As for our astral friends, I hereby formally welcome you all to join our operation to seal the Stellaron.
Oh, thank you. You're finally letting us do our own job. Oh my goodness. How could we ever repay this kindness?
Lady Fu will deploy the Cloud Knights, but I would like you to set off in advance. Take a shortcut through the Artisanship Commission and convene with Lady Fu further down the line.
Payment or we go on strike. This is the mood of 2023. Be snarky or demand reparations.
Understood. Understood, worry not. I know how to repay a favor.
I don't care about repaying a favor. Show me the coin, sir.
The Xianzhou has met with a dramatic chain of events, and each of you has chosen to stand by us. Your fearlessness moves me.
The way you're wording that makes me think you're gonna award us with like a certificate that's like distinguished citizen or something. No. Where are my credits, sir? I'm worse than a debt collector. Show me the coin.
Nevertheless, the enemy is upon us and time is of the essence. Let us not allow monetary affairs to cast a shadow over more pressing matters.
I want a document. I want a signed document stating that you're going to pay us cash after this.
Once catastrophe has been averted, we shall discuss this in greater detail.
Uh-huh. And what happens if you die, sir? What happens if you die and no one believes us when we say that you owe us coin, huh? I want a document. You're doing nothing in your office anyway.
Miss Tingyun, I would like you to continue to serve as a guide for our astral friends.
Oh, of course, General. I am duty-bound.
She's like, I have to say that because you're my employer. I don't want to do this though.
The Alchemy Commission and Scale Gorge Waterscape delves are adjacent to the Ambrosial Arbor Seal. I'd like you to investigate these places.
Man, you just said words that made no sense to me conceptually. I get that they're places, but you did just say words.
It is an ancient artifact that was planted on the Xianzhou Lafu by Yaoshe, the Eon of Abundance. It has the power to shape life and subdue death at will.
Doesn't that mean that you should hate it if you all are with the Eon of the Hunt and you all have been like fighting the Abundance for forever? Also, that puts like some concerning thoughts into Ting Yun's reaction to the, where is she? Oh look, where did you go? Where is she? Doesn't that put some like suspicions on her reaction to the tree growing? Because if the tree is actually something you should hate because the Eon of Abundance is the one who put it on this ship, and you all have been fighting the Abundance this entire time, her like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, like the tree, like, and the shaking and the like reverence in her voice when the tree grew, that puts some suspicions on that. But everybody on the ship has been suspicious, so I might be overthinking it.
The ancestors of the Luofu people consumed the fruits of the Ambrosial Arbor and gained endless lifespans, thus becoming long-life species.
So it's like the it is, everybody on this ship is very suspicious to me. So it's like the garden of the, well, it does call them ambrosia, essentially. They just shortened it out. The ambrosia garden of the Greek gods, handled by, is it Circe that handles the garden? The golden apples that make ambrosia that gives the gods semi-mortality, like they can be killed, but they won't die unless outside forces do it. So something similar happened here. The Eon of Abundance, which is life, planted a tree that gave everybody long lives, like gave them essentially God's ambrosia.
Oh, sounds like an amazing treasure.
Also sounds like an amazing curse if people figured out that, like, oh, we have this fruit that makes you essentially immortal. Everyone would be attacking you constantly. No wonder you would immediately go to worshiping essentially the god of war, the god of the hunt, because you would be defending that tree non-stop, constantly. Maybe it would be better to go for the god of preservation then, but you would be defending that tree constantly from everyone.
Yes. It was also the bane of everything to come.
Yeah. Seems I'm right.
As outsiders, you are unfamiliar with the history of the Xianzhou. I cannot blame you for asking a question like this. Let me tell you a story.
Also, it wouldn't be good if the trees were growing anyway, just because of the fact that it's obviously corrupted by the Stellaron, and like anyone who eats a fruit corrupted by a Stellaron or just interacts with a Stellaron that causes corruption does not have good effects, as we saw on Belobog.
Long ago, before the Xianzhou took to the skies, our ancestors lived on the surface of a planet. Like all of you, the Xianzhou people at that time were a mortal species with a lifespan of fewer than 100 years. There was a time when the ruling emperor could not bear his temporary existence, or the thought of his life's achievements being lost to another after his death. He became fixated on acquiring an elixir of immortality, and focused his power on constructing a fleet of 9 ships. These ships would voyage into deep space, where traces of gods were rumored to exist.
Did he succeed?
I mean, the tree is here, so he must have exceeded to a degree, even if he didn't live to immortality. Like, someone in his descendants got the immortality tree, so it was successful.
Yes. And no. He succeeded because, after an arduous journey, the 9 ships eventually witnessed the manifestation of a god. Yao She's appearance provided for all manner of unfathomable celestial blessings. However, he failed because the fleet has been lost ever since, and has never been able to return to its home planet.
What's with all of these characters that are like, we were never able to return home, or we've lost our home? You have March, who is encased in ice, who does not remember her home planet or where she came from. You have these people who set off to find the elixir of immortality and are unable to figure out their way back to their planet. You have the Trailblazer, our guy, who has no memory of anything except when he was created on the Hertha space station, so he has no true home. You have Welt. Canonically, I think he's from like a different reality, because he's from the first game, Honkai Third Impact, I think. I never remember what that game is called. And so he's from like a different dimension. Why? And then Dan Heng's not able to return to this home because I think he's stated that the fleet is his home. Like, he used to live here and was driven out for some reason. What is this like? Why is this like a reoccurring theme that like you cannot go home?
That doesn't sound so bad. The Xianzhou people went on a great adventure and got what they wanted in the end. Right?
Oh? Our ancestors once thought so too, but the miracle of longevity was nothing more than a vain dream. Take the Lao Fu, for example. Immortality seemed like a beautiful thing. But what followed was population expansion and diminishing resources. In the struggle for survival, the immortals lost their humanity and degenerated into mere beasts.
Oh yeah, no, that would definitely, that's why in a lot of fantasy settings, if you have a long-lived race, they usually end up having like a really low reproductive rates. Like, a lot of them are like, oh, you only have a new vampire born once every 1,000 years, or a new elf born once every like millennia or something, because if someone lives thousands and thousands of years, if they reproduced at the rate that a normal human would, we already have enough of an issue of overpopulation, and we only live like 70 to 100 years. If we were living to like thousands of years, unless we all agreed on a very carefully controlled population increase, we would instantly start running out of resources. We're running out of resources now.
After paying the price with blood and tears, the Lao Fu people finally understood that immortality is not a free blessing, but the beginning of a cruel ordeal.
Plus, also, when you live that long, like you live thousands of years, you get stagnant really quickly. Like, people get very stuck in their ways because of the fact that that's how it's always been, and they can remember doing it long ago, so there's very little change and growth.
In the eras that followed, other beings that had likewise received Yao She's blessings repeatedly attacked the Xianzhou in an attempt to take the sacred artifact as their own. Countless atrocities were committed as a result.
Yeah, that's what I said. They'd be constantly having to defend the tree.
Many Xianzhou comrades who were lucky enough to survive the wars became stricken with Mara, a condition that immortals are susceptible to. Had it not been for the enlightenment and protection of the Rainbow Arbiter, the Xianzhou alliance you see today would never have existed. At this point in the story, I assume you understand the disasters that the resurrection of the Ambrosial Arbor might bring about?
How did it die, though? Your story doesn't explain how the tree died.
Thousands of years have passed since the Rainbow Arbiter felled the Ambrosial Arbor.
Oh, there we go. So the Eon of the Hunt killed the tree. Okay.
Most in the Xianzhou regard the Arbor as nothing more than the stump of a dead tree. Only those familiar with our history and the ancient texts know of its origin.
Okay, so that's why everybody was confused about the tree growing. And it still makes it suspicious then that Ting Yun had such a reaction. I wonder if she's one of the traitors.
Our ancestors placed the stump in full view of the people precisely to make it seem unimportant. But in fact, they sealed it behind layers upon layers of delve enchantment. Even if one travels toward the ambrosial arbor, one will never reach it. Someone brought a Stellaron into the Xianzhou and planted it among the roots of the ambrosial arbor. They wish to resurrect it and achieve their hidden goal through external aggression. In my opinion, the force that provided the Stellaron and the force that activated it have different objectives.
I wonder if the Stellarons... I just thought of something. So they placed the Stellaron in our body, which is what woke Nanook and gave us the power of destruction, right? Our first blessing. And then we were fighting the second Stellaron, and that's what caught, along with, like, the Stellaron had interacted with so many people that devotedly believed in the preservation that it retained their egos, which allowed us to get the attention of the preservation. So I'm curious if you almost need the Stellarons to be able to forcibly attract the attention of the different eons. Because I imagine we will fight this Stellaron and somehow attract, because we're gonna probably have to kill the tree again, right? Like, that's probably the end game of this, is we're gonna kill the tree again. And so the Eon of the Hunt is probably going to lend us his power, which is how we're gonna get the Hunt ability, the Hunt blessing, to fell the tree again, because the Stellaron is probably going to fuse with the tree and make the tree sentient, right? Which might be that lady who's in the that event thing or whatever. And so that we have to fight as like another echo of war. And so because the Dragon of Doom is a representation of Nanook, in the other Echo of War, we're fighting Cocolia, who's the Stellaron that gave us the preservation ability. And so probably this new Echo of War, which is the lady that goes in the event thingy. So she's probably the tree, right? I'm guessing. And so probably felling her is going to attract these, the thing of the hunt, so we can kill the tree again. I just repeated the same thing I just said earlier twice. Anyway, that's my guess on how we're gonna get the hunt ability.
I have asked Fu Shen to open a shortcut to the Divination Commission for you.
Don't worry, we can teleport.
A step forward bridges no distance hence. The hexagram was right.
Are we getting the Lamau because I just repeated myself like 2 or 3 times, or the Lamau because my guess is horrendously wrong because of the new content?
The ambrosial arbor was felled thousands of years ago. Now it returns to life. The future of the Xianzhou is difficult to define. I had long anticipated it.
Huh? She's not angry? Is there anyone that isn't 2 steps ahead of us around here?
Pursuing Kafka is a waste of time and effort. The Matrix of Prescience informed me of her innocence.
Okay.
Our priority is the ambrosial arbor.
So it's about my guess. Oh boy. I'm excited to see how horrendously wrong or like on the dot I am. I am liking the story in this area a bit more than Belobog. It's a little bit more like interesting compared to Belobog's, at least in my opinion.
From the time the Stellaron corrosion began to spread until now, the only reports we've received on the Alchemy Commission have come from alchemists and doctors stationed in other delves. The Alchemy Commission is where the Xianzhou's medical research and production take place. However, due to its proximity to the ambrosial arbor's seal, I'm afraid the Stellaron spirits may have plunged it into a deeper crisis than we first feared. To make matters worse, the General suspects there are traitors in the Alchemy Commission. The self-proclaimed disciples of Sanctus Medicus have been plotting this for a long time. and now they're using the location to their advantage. I must take action as soon as possible.
Okay, I want to see if I can talk to other people before we leave. Because Ching Chua is here.
That was scary. I was having a snack in the repository when the ambrosial arbor started to grow. The trunk suddenly shot right up into the sky. So, the legends were right all along. Such is life. Full of surprises. That's why you gotta seize any opportunity to take a break. Who knows when trouble will come knocking at your door. She did. She saw me on her way over. She told me to go to the repository and read up on anything related to the ambrosial arbor. A simple task like that is only 15 minutes work for me. I heard people say even the general has to watch his manners when asking you for help. Pretty impressive. I don't have much to offer you. Here, take this book. It's the thought that counts. It'll be fine. Even if the sky collapses, we have the Master Diviner with us to hold it up. Oh, and now we have the General here too.
Oh my gosh, that so talks about how like uninvolved Jing Yuan is getting, or like how like people aren't depending on him either. Like he's an afterthought when it comes to the government running. Everybody's like, we can depend on Yukong and the Diviner. Oh yeah, the General also exists.
What do subordinates like us have to panic about? Let the big shots worry about the big events. That's the secret to happiness.
Why is Ching Chua like literally Gen Z? Like this, she is literally the embodiment of Gen Z's thought process when it comes to like the work environment.
I was gonna wait for the Master Diviner to get off work so I could show you around and teach Mr. Yang how to play Celestial Jade.
Your kindness is much appreciated, Miss Ching Chue.
Yeah.
As for Celestial Jade, we'll have to leave it for next time.
I know, you've got an important task ahead. Sorry to keep you. Priorities are priorities. Well then, get back safely. Remember to come find me in Exalting Sanctum.
Hopefully I have not missed any of the books if you can like talk to someone and get a book.
Imagine.
Alright,
if the
Ting
Divination
Yun.
Commission could predict
I'm very suspicious of you. Are you one of the
relieved
traitors?
Of my guiding duties once the Divination Commission affair was over.
I feel like you want to get away from us for some reason, like really badly. Are you... You're so suspicious. I feel like you're one of the traitors and like you want to get away from us so that you could go like do traitorous stuff, but you keep getting dragged around with us, which might be because the General wants... This might be a ploy by the General to like keep her out of it or something. Maybe as a favor to Yukong, because she's worked with Yukong for a long time, right? So Yukong, it might be a favor to Yukong to like keep her out of it so that you can like use plausible deniability once the traitors are released. Be like, you can do the whole the anime shonen.
How likely a person
Well,
is to
I mean, they
commit
didn't do
crimes.
anything you can say against them right now, so they're not actually a bad guy. And then you're just like, go along with it, nudge, nudge.
Who would have thought the General would take such a liking to you? I suppose I must accompany you further. Fate can be so unpredictable.
Through thick and thin, we're like two peas in a dangerous pod. This could be your moment to shine for the Skyfaring Commission. Are you afraid of the danger, Miss Ting Yun?
You have quite the sense of humor, benefactors. I've encountered more trouble with you than I have with the merchant fleet in 10 years. I just hope everything is smooth sailing from now on. Please look after me. You want to leave straight away? Let me pack some things. I'll be right there.
Where I am in the story? Yeah, I'm not really sure either. Windswept Wanderlust is what it's called. Kafka has just escaped. She's told us that she brought us onto this place specifically to get the hunt's attention so that we can get the power of the hunt. The tree just grew, and so we're about to go to we have 3 areas to visit to try and take down the tree.
A step forward bridges no distance hence. The ambrosial arbor was felled. He really is a delegator at heart, isn't he? There isn't much distance between the artisanship and alchemy commissions. I'm afraid the former is likely also facing imminent catastrophe. The star skiff is ready. I will lead the way.
Oh, we're actually following her. Okay. La-di-dee.
I still have important tasks from the General to attend to. Go carefully, all of you.
Wait! Master Diviner, can you divine our fortunes for us? Is there anything we need to watch out for?
No need. My Omniscia has seen that your journey will be auspicious. Everything will proceed smoothly.
Which is exactly what Elio has been organizing, so... Thank you. I'm sure they'll come with time. I really need to actually, like, edit my videos into shorter clips, because that might bring in more people. But thank you. Yeah. This is about how it is for most. I'm not too choked up about it or anything. This is how it is for most streamers, is like, they'll have, like... I think the average amount of streamer viewers is like 5 to 10 on average. So I'm not too choked up about it. It's just fun to play and talk with any of the audience that's willing to talk with me. Because otherwise I'd just be doing this by myself. And so it is a little bit more fun to chat with people while doing it.
Are you sure? You don't need to use a crazy device or do more finger counting?
Well said. Thank you for your assurance, Master Diviner. Onward.
Because it's nice enough that you're willing to, like, stay up to talk to me and stuff like that, because I feel like it's so, kind, and also, like, thank you, for the free promotion. But yeah, it's so kind and, like, heartwarming that you're willing to stay up at, like, awful hours in the morning just to, like, chat to me, even if it is for a few minutes, just to give me a little bit of, like, encouragement to stream that day. I'll probably end up streaming a little bit earlier on Fridays in the near future. It won't be the next 2 weeks, but maybe the week after that. I might bump up my Friday streams to 3 p.m. as well, Eastern Standard Time, because my current day job, I've decided is definitely not something I can continue doing, so I have put in my 2 weeks. So we're back on the job hunt, which I'm not too choked up about. It sucks a little that I'll lose the income, but it was being really harsh on my body, and also the benefits were, like, actually hot garbage, so not too choked up about it. But yeah, I will be able to move up my streams on Friday, so it might be a little bit easier on your schedule, and then I might also add another stream on Wednesday. I hear a chest. I can literally hear a chest. Didn't I have all the chests for this area? Or is it the game I'm hearing? I can literally hear a chest. Like trying to play echolocation. Where is this chest? I can hear it though. Maybe it's the chest I'll get when I finish this game, because sometimes you can hear them before they spawn in. There we go. The freight starship slowly moves into the jetty. Gotta get my Uber treasure chest. But yeah, I am definitely of the opinion that though it doesn't look great on your resume, that you really shouldn't do,
So that's how it works.
if you can, you should not like take a job that treats you terribly or destroys your body. That's obviously it's only if you can afford to quit the job. Obviously, keeping a roof over your head and food on the table is one of the most important things to do. But if you are able to, if you like,
Nice.
I only did my day job for like 2 months. But I knew that like instantly I was not going to be happy at this job. It's really tough on the body, so anyone who does do it, kudos to them, because that is hard labor. And that's not even the hardest of the trades, because I was working on being an electrician apprentice. Other trades are even harder on the body, so kudos to the people who are able to do it or who are willing to do it or find joy in it, because
Nice.
I can't do it. And then the benefits of it just weren't up to the standard that I'm willing to work for. So because I am blessed with my parents, I'm still living with my parents, so my parents are willing to let me like try and find a better career path. So I
Nice.
am applying for other places. I'm probably gonna try to get a remote job just because we're about to hit the plague season. So I'd probably be a bit safer working at home than I would be out in an office or anything. Alright, new area. Let's go. Two of the things I'll be working when it comes to things like this is I'll definitely be working on my drawings, like learning how to draw. Oh, cutscene.
Huh? Look at all the people gathered here. Not a good day for commuting on the LaFu.
I wonder if we'll finally be reunited with Dunhung, with my husband.
The Artisanship Commission Delve should have suspended operations after the Stellaron corrosion began. Why haven't these people taken star skiffs to safety?
Because literally in any kind of... Sorry, I thought I heard a noise. On any kind of bad thing that's occurring, there are going to be a bunch of people who are just going to ignore the authorities. Every single year during hurricane season, when people are told to leave the area in Florida, there are people who are like, nope, I'm not gonna leave because of whatever reason, and then they have to be rescued because their houses are flooded, or they're trapped in rubble because they refuse to leave.
Maybe the Artisanship Commission are just more dedicated to their work? The Divination Commission's diviners aren't exactly a hard act to follow.
At the end of the day, work is work. You need it to live. You know, March, adults forget what relaxation means after a certain age.
Speaking of talking about work, lovely timing there. But yeah, people will refuse to evacuate during any kind of disaster, so I wouldn't imagine this is much different. Same thing with like masks during the height of the pandemic, or even just now. Like, people have just pretending like the fact that COVID is still not a rampant plague that's going on, because people just want to pretend and go back to normal, and so no one masks anymore. I still mask when I go out, and I'm not saying this is like a superior thing, but just because like my parents are one of the people that, like, if they get COVID, my dad might actually die from it. Like, his immune system is so shot at this point, so it's like, it's just, when you have the people like yourself and then the people around you are so like brittle's not the word, but like something could happen to them, and then you just see like everyone else pretending like, oh, it's not a big deal, nothing's happening, we've moved past it. It's mind-boggling. Speaking of which, it's about time to get the next booster shot for COVID, so I'll probably get that after my 2 weeks is up.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Just speaking from the heart, that's all.
Well, to such a mood.
complaining from the heart.
Yes, it is very frustrating, but it almost also like gives you a good indicator of someone's like personality almost on like how they treat this, because like I don't know why, but like I will immediately ask people like nowadays about their views on COVID, and almost immediately I can already tell if I want to like interact with this person anymore because of how they treated COVID or how they currently treat COVID. It's such a good like bar now to use when it comes to making new friends or even like dating partners and whatnot.
Are any of the paths in this world easy to tread? The Artisanship Commission is full of workshops, building state-of-the-art mechanisms, and craftsmen designing brand new concepts. Periodically stirring up trouble is part of their tradition. Entire buildings vanishing into thin air, puppet riots. You get the picture.
It sounds boisterous, yeah.
It seems like the craftsmen are too afraid to go in, but they have nowhere to run to either. We should take care, benefactors. Something terrible must have happened.
Yes, yeah, there's like a few things that I'm using now as like filters when it comes to people or dating anymore. COVID is like a really good filter nowadays. Another one, a good one that's recent might be the Barbie movie. You can definitely see what kind of like what take people have from the Barbie movie, like what they take away from it. Will definitely tell you a lot about a person's character. Immediate red flag if they're following that one guy who got arrested in Romania for like I don't know if I can say the word here on TikTok, but yeah, if like they follow him or say that he's smart in any capacity, immediate red flag. Climate change deniers. There's a bunch of good filters nowadays, which kind of is terrible, but I always love to bring them up kind of in like the first few conversations with people, because I can immediately drop someone into like, I don't want to speak to this person ever again, or have as little interaction as possible with them, versus, all right, this person might be cool.
Either way, we'll have to go in. Let's ask around first.
I really need to actually do something with these albums. Man, why are the maps here so big? I feel like the maps on Bellabog are like way smaller than the maps here are. Alright, I've been hearing a treasure chest somewhere. Where is it? It's been driving me nuts. I hate that you can hear treasure chests before they spawn in sometimes. we go. Is it hard filtering people, or just like this puzzle was hard?
So that's how it works. Looks good.
Yes, that puzzle was a bit annoying compared to some of those I've done. And that was the treasure chest. I really hate that I can hear the treasure chest before they spawn in. Who are those 4 people? Who knows? Are they referring to us?
It's no ordinary tree. The branches felt tough as metal. Yunsha, have you ever seen material like that before?
What if I have? You gonna go get a sample for me?
I was thinking about it, yeah. Isn't it just an ornamental tree?
Have you ever seen an ornamental tree move? Have you ever seen one bore through the ground like that, huh?
So what if it moves? I just need to run over and saw off a sample. It can't grow faster than I can run, right?
That's a concerning idea.
Sure. Go ahead. Here's a crowbar and a saw. Don't say I didn't warn you when the Cloud Knights have to scrape you off the walls.
Well, I've been feeling a bit under the weather lately. Yunsha, you're the most, agile person on the materials team when it comes to operational efficiency.
Not him throwing her under the bus.
Under the weather, huh? How convenient. As for me, I'd rather stay alive, thanks.
I'm always curious, since they had those random NPCs be voiced by the trash taste people, that anytime they give NPCs voices, I'm always curious if they're like, if they happen to be like Easter eggs, like the trash chase crew was.
As expected, the divination was correct. If I hadn't repaired the shifting screen today, we'd have all been trapped. We'd be fertilizer by now. Still, the teleportation range wasn't enough.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Oh. Cutscene. The gate is closed. Just like the metals from which it was forged, it emanates a cold indifference.
Another locked gate. Time for the old dilemma. Break in or climb over?
If climb over was an option, I would have cut so much time down in all these other places. What do you mean you can climb over?
A warm reminder, benefactors, that the Artisanship Commission is as important to the Xianzhou as the Divination Commission.
What? So what? We can't blow it up? Is that what you're telling us?
Our law states that trespassing into the Artisanship Commission can result in a prison sentence of between 300 to 500 years. Serious violations may result in exile on a barren planet, thousands of light years away.
Haven't we gotten permission from the general to be able to go wherever we want or need? Anyway. Oh, okay. I hope you have good sleep. I know it is late for you. It's like 7 p.m.-ish, 8 p.m.-ish for you. So yeah, if you do fall asleep, I hope you do get good sleep, though. This is what I was saying.
Yes, we do. Still, the Artisanship Commission is filled with security mechanisms. Even the General won't be able to save us in time if we get trapped.
Oh yeah, definitely go to sleep though if you get tired, if it's already 11. Oh my goodness. But yeah. If you do fall asleep, I hope you get good sleep though, and that you have a good Monday tomorrow.
I'm not trying to scare you. I'm simply suggesting you ask the craftsmen to see if they can provide an insider like Qingche to guide you. It seems more than a little reckless to charge in when we don't know what's ahead of us.
Did we... Did we not pick something up from the general that we should have had? Oh, now am I supposed to ask people things?
Master Gongshu. Oh, are you guys Cloud Knights? Are you here to save us?
Do we look like Cloud Knights?
Your clothes. I knew I was getting ahead of myself. You're just tourists.
I'm glad you realized.
Sorry this crisis came during your trip. I'm sorry it came at all.
Yeah, you just need to tell us what the trouble is. General Jing Yuan pulled out all the stops to get us here. You can trust us.
You mean the general invited you? Is that a joke? The Luofu has the Cloud Knights. Why would he send outsiders?
Because we specialize in the issue that you have on hand. We are specialists.
There's been a serious incident in the Artisanship Commission. Nobody's in the mood for jokes, miss.
You misunderstand, young sir. We genuinely want to help. Can you tell us what happened here?
Waiting around, that's what. We ran away. It was way too dangerous in there.
I mean, pretty much. Considering that we can fight things that ordinary people have a tough time fighting. Wait, since blessings from the eons are supposedly, like, pretty rare, wouldn't the fact that we're a trio, all of us having blessings from the eons, and I even have a double blessing currently, like, wouldn't that make us super fancy? It's like visions in Genshin.
Please, if you plan on living a little longer, don't go in there. There's been some kind of botanical disaster. It was like an ornamental tree somewhere suddenly started to grow. There were branches so thick you couldn't put your arms around them. It spread everywhere. The whole commission is being destroyed. I don't get it. The Artisanship Commission focuses on the mechanical. We've got nothing to do with hydroponics or accelerated growth. Where did that thing come from? The worst thing is, my master is still inside. Master Gongshu is the most experienced craftsman in the Artisanship Commission smelting works. He's in charge of our research project. When the incident happened, he dragged me, Zeming, and Yuncha to safety. But then he turned around and ran back in. I need to wait here for the Cloud Knight so I can tell them to rescue him.
Why did he run back in?
Research data?
Is research data more important than life? I just heard him shout, "It's gone! We lost the furnace!" By the time we realized, he'd already vanished. Anyway, you said you're here to help us, right?
Yeah.
100%. The general sent us.
You don't have to believe us. The Astral Express doesn't shout about its achievements. We'll look for your master.
In that case, take this jade seal with you. If you find my master, please bring him out safe and sound. If anything happens to him.
Don't worry, young sir. Your master's safety is our...
None of us would be able to graduate this year.
Oh my gosh, college student 100%. Man, if our professor isn't here to grade our stuff, we'll have to retake this year. Oh goodness, as a former college student, I feel this in my soul. Well, it's like, oh, you don't care about his safety.
Let's go. I think this conversation's run its course. Botanical disaster? It must be the Ambrosial Arbor. But what about the furnace his master mentioned?
Okay, now I have the badge to get in. Well, that looks cool. Cutscene? Laggy cutscene?
The Stellaron facilitated the resurrection of the Ambrosial Arbor. The severity of the corrosion becomes worse as it grows.
Look, the roots are coming up through the ground. I'm afraid we've got some gardening work to do.
Okay, I might be looking for suspicious things to prove my theory, but Yaosha, the Eon of Abundance, one of her defining traits is like her eyes that are splitting apart her skin or whatever. Doesn't a lot of Tingyuan's accessories kind of look like eyes? I don't know, I might be looking for things wrong with her to prove my theory. I can smell my mom cooking something. It smells good. Do they just go both down to the same place? Oh, I love the stylized clouds. I hear a treasure chest. At least it's one of those frogs. I hate the monkey ones.
A will forged in ice
Never falters!
Conflict is pitiless.
Man, G1 is just
Show no mercy.
great to have on the team. We are all for it.
Reach the end of the story in your own way.
Okay. Don't hear the... Oh, there it is. I hear the treasure chest now.
Upon commission grounds your feet do tread. Leave from whence you came, or soon be dead. Dead. Stay away. If you come any further, I'll not spare you.
Are you the mentor?
Hold on. Let us explain. We're not...
What excuses do you have? Surprise me. Just passing by. Stumbled in. Door wide open. Within commission grounds today was known. An evil spun by hands unseen, unknown. No longer. The security mechanism can teach you a lesson. These robots will.
Hopefully that was everything he needed
Golden
to say.
cloud toad. Illumination dragonfish. Are you all right? Wake up. I raised you like my own flesh and blood. Did you really have to destroy my little friends? I want compensation.
Considering you were yelling about we'll be dead, this is... Actually, you know what? Yes. You can charge as much compensation as you want. Just bill it to the general. We're gonna rack out this man's tab.
You didn't want to listen to us. We were here to rescue you and you started a fight for no reason.
How do you know my name, child?
I am 17 days old. I am glad that you recognize that I am but a child.
Does the reputation of Gongshu Liang, the smelter extraordinaire, precede one?
This guy's pretty deluded for a master.
I love when voice actors go all in on a voice role. Where they just get absolutely, like, campy with how they do the voice. We love it.
We're passing through on our way to the Alchemy Commission at the behest of General Jing Yuan and Diviner Fu. We'd like you to show us the way, Master Gongshu.
Really? The General sent you? Then this must be a mere misunderstanding. Don't worry about those things. Easy to fix.
No. You want compensation. We're just billing it to the general. We're going to absolutely destroy this man's tab.
But there's not much I can do to help. The Artisanship Commission was suddenly taken over by some evil tree demon. It seized our most precious possession, the Creation Furnace.
I love this man's voice acting. Oh my gosh, the absolute camp of it.
It's a dark and powerful entity. The robots. It was like they gained consciousness. They were moving in a circle around it. I fear approaching it is tantamount to suicide.
They're moving in a circle around it. Oh my gosh. I would love him to be in... I can just see him in a campy horror movie. Like, he would fit right in.
But then, I couldn't just run away, knowing what lies sealed in the furnace.
We're short on time. Where are we going? Who are we fighting? Come on, old man. We gotta go.
I'm sure General Jing Yuan must have believed wholeheartedly that you could save the Artisanship Commission from this crisis.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% sure that man could have just sent us straight to the endpoint that we needed to go to, but he's like, we're understaffed. I'm gonna make them do all of our errands and clean up all of the mess while I get some other stuff straightened out over here. So, you know, you go and fix all of my issues, and I will try and figure out what's going on with the Stellaron hunters.
Means I know of may yet serve your fight. Pray you in repayment aid my plight. Come on, through here.
These things are so big. Anyway. I got distracted. If nothing else, I can make this man's tab extraordinary by breaking all the pottery in my way. Oh, I hear a chest. We're gonna ignore him for a minute. And explore. Okay, so this, we'll open that later. It's a shortcut back, I'm sure. Humming antlers, entwined horns. Interesting.
Look, this is one of the Artisanship Commission's prototypes. The shifting screen.
Yep, we saw them at the Divination Commission. I have to do a puzzle to get it to work.
Good thing I got the students to take it out and make a few adjustments. Otherwise, they'd never have managed to get out in time. You all saw the Jade Gate on your way in, I assume? The shifting screen works in the same way. It connects two spatial coordinates in ways that laymen wouldn't understand.
Why am I getting the explanation for this now when we've already used it in another area?
Indeed. With limited range and energy costs aside, to every star skiff soon shall woe betide.
You sure about that? Even our trailblazing space anchors sound better.
Oh my gosh, she's referencing the fact that we can teleport. So like canonically we can teleport anywhere, right?
Thank goodness you take the time to perfect these inventions, Master. If not, the Skyfaring Commission would have become quite redundant by now.
Ordinarily, I could have used this beauty to teleport you thither, but through earth and air, the wretched branches boiled. The shifting screen entangled thence and coiled.
Please. Please, can this man be with us the entire rest of the journey? I love this voice acting so much. Gang Shu Liang strikes a pose and raises an eyebrow to say, keep asking. Thanks for the explanation. Bye. And I shall inform the general that this path is no-go. I'm sure you know how to fix it, sir.
How observant. You would make an excellent student.
I see that this is one of those teachers that loves kiss asses, alright.
The commission is more than a match for Mother Nature. Oh, piteous tree, who think thyself so strong, your match and more in strength to meet ere long.
He sets up the equipment
This is
hastily.
the first thing that came to mind when the tree demon attacked. It's a mechanical device codenamed the Lumenflux Pixis. I invented this weapon for the Cloud Knights. It's incredibly powerful, but...
Let me guess. Limited range? Energy costs?
Every light has its shadow. But this is more than enough to deal with the tree demon. And then... ignite! Fire beats wood! There's no way we can lose!
Then why haven't you done it, sir? Okay. I didn't see like Okay, I see what we have to do. Alright. Turn clockwise. Turn counterclockwise. Okay, we did a puzzle like this very similarly in last year's Genshin summer event on the Golden Archipelago. We did this in like Mona's castle.
The master reveals the door, but the apprentice must walk through it. You're much better than my useless students.
Oh my goodness.
What's happening? Is the delve collapsing? Seems like it worked. That tree demon must be writhing in pain.
I love him. Please. I will waste all of my stellar jade if this man becomes playable. Please. I love him.
All right. There's no time to lose. Hurry through the shifting screen to the opposite side before the branches grow back.
Okay. We are getting close to time, but I am really, like, into this. I'm having fun with this bit. You know, for the fact that I've been playing for 2 hours, I feel like I haven't progressed that far in this story. We finished off one area, we came to a new one. I hear the treasure chests. I feel like an addict who's like, oh, I could sense it.
They've encoiled the Artisanship Commission's most precious invention, the creation furnace. Help me, dear young friends. Let's hack them away together. We can't let the roots punch through the furnace.
God, he's putting his whole pussy into it. We love him for that. Oh. I'll have to look up
Careful. It's changing.
I'll need to look up who the VA is for him. That looks so... Oh my gosh. Alright, mini boss time. That is so cool. What we could have had if Sumeru, if Hoyo had actually cared about Sumeru.
What kind of monster is this?
Miraculous! It creates life at will! Such incredible power!
Tingyun, you sound suspicious more and more the more you talk.
Don't get complacent.
Okay, always take out the shoot, what do you call them? The add-ons whenever you're fighting any kind of any kind of boss. Always take out the add-ons first. Oh my gosh. Who can play in like normal speed? It is absolutely
in the name of Landau, a will forged in ice never falters.
Sad on how slow it is.
It's guarding the ambrosial arbor's roots and the furnace.
Okay, does that mean I shouldn't?
You have my gratitude.
I shouldn't attack the
Eternal sleep.
The dead return!
the add-ons?
Repay.
Oh, it's gonna heal itself. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. But this route looks different than the other route, so I'm curious if I have to kill so many roots before I can start doing damage to the centaur. Well, it's technically a deer. It's not a centaur.
Rules are made to be broken.
So there's not really any point to doing damage to it because
You chose the wrong enemy.
Let's make it quick.
it'll just heal itself.
Hope you're prepared. In the name of
Look at the deer's feet. There are more roots coming up.
Show no mercy.
I'll see you off.
Let's go.
There's no time to lose.
This.
Oh, okay. Guess we weren't supposed to do too much damage to the deer.
No matter how much damage we do, it just heals itself. Not fair.
Considering I have a healer on my team to do the exact same thing, you must be feeling what most of the monsters feel when fighting us.
We'll have to retreat for now. Follow me.
Strategic retreat.
No wonder the Xianzhou is so scared of the abominations of abundance. They're unstoppable. Miss Tingyun, are the long-life species on the Xianzhou all like this?
I'm afraid this ebon deer was likely birthed by the ambrosial arbor as its guardian. It shares a close connection with the arbor's roots. Most living creatures on the Xianzhou don't have abilities like this.
Huh. As long as it's there, we can't get any closer.
I wonder... The ebon deer seems to heal itself instantly, but perhaps it's drawing that power from elsewhere.
Hey, we're following the red and yellow wires.
It can't heal if we take out the source, right?
The monster only seems to be active in the vicinity of the arbor. Let's look around and see if we can find anything.
Exploration time. You know, where I spend like 50 years looking through everything. Okay, let's see. 10 treasures, 1 warp trotter. I feel confident that I cleaned out that area. Looks like there's something to fight over here, so let's go back. I guess I did not see this staircase.
We need a strategy.
I commend.
I'm with you.
Let's wait and see.
Repay!
I did not mean to pause.
The dead return! Here is thunder!
AoE damage is so
Will
nice.
forged in ice never falters! Is that all?
I find it interesting, like the mechanical effects that most of this
Made
like
to be broken!
the mecha sci-fi angle that Honkai Star Rail takes comparatively to like their other games.
Conflict is pitiless. Show no mercy.
So we'll probably take this, take out this monster, and then we'll call it a day because we have hit our 2-hour goal.
A will forged in ice never falters!
I'm also curious if I should go back and explore some of those areas that had locked doors that I can probably go into now, or if I should wait and just keep going through the main game. Would you all want to even see that exploration, or should I just do that off screen? I did that with a bit of my exploration in Velobog because it was just taking so long. But once I get through the main quest here, we currently don't have that much more content. We had the little bits that was added recently. From what I've heard, it's about 2 hours of content, of new content, and so we should be able to go through that pretty fast. So I don't know if you all would want any exploration videos, because I might do that with Genshin, but then again, I have a lot of quests to get through with Genshin. to catch up for Fontaine. Okay. We can't go. We can't just hop over this side rail, you know, like anyone with working legs can. And there's the monster deer over there. Is it still there? Oh, it is.
I don't think we're in a position to take down this deer until we've dealt with its regenerative abilities.
The game's like, you cannot even go near the deer. I guess that's why there's teleportation on the other side, so you can teleport around it.
So the General asked you to head to the Alchemy Commission, the Artisanship Commission had no choice but to halt operations once the tree demon appeared.
Wandering around. So all these like creepy mechanical fish and monkeys and lions and stuff are the alchemy artisan commissions.
Never falters.
Spawn. I shouldn't have started exploring. I just did it by default.
We caught them unawares.
Okay. Okay, we're not gonna go any further, I swear. Alright, so let's see what we got. Nice. Okay, so that is going to be... Alright, that is going to be it for today. We have gone to a new area, but from what we have learned, we need to go to like 2 more areas on top of this. So it's still going to be a hot minute. And so I will see you all again next Friday, where we will hopefully get through the rest of this place and maybe on to the next area. And we'll see how much closer we get to getting through the main quest. I wonder, let me look up. Honkai, Star Rail, Windswept, Wander, main story quest. How many parts of this is there? Okay, we're on the last bit of this main quest. So we're almost done with this section of this main quest. And then the next one is Top Clouded Tower Thrust. And, oh, and that's it. That's all that's currently out. Okay, so we actually are much closer to where the game currently is out of content than I thought we were. So yeah, so we might actually be able to next weekend we might actually be able to get to this event, because there's still 2 more weeks of this. So if next weekend we're able to get we might actually be able to be able to work on that side quest. Are we still not able to interact with these?
It's a whole row of those gate robots. We saw one in the Divination Commission.
Gate robots? Those are arumatons. The Artisanship Commission created them to stand guard in various locations.
We fought a few of them, March.
Master, are these creations truly able to protect the Artisanship Commission? There's already been so much destruction. Why haven't we seen any in action?
No! We haven't quite finished the paintwork on this badge. How can we deploy them if they're not looking their best?
That's your reasoning? Okay. Sounds like a fake reason, but alright. Anyway, so we're actually quite closer to the end of this than I thought we were. We gotta get through this mission. Oh, an Eidolon. I do not have many of those. I don't think I have any of those actually for the preservation route. Yeah, I don't. Where am I even supposed to get these? It's like the first one I've seen. Might need to look up how to get these. But yeah, I don't have any for the preservation route. I've been more interested in the destruction route, honestly, because I have like the light cone fully maxed out, superimposed. I've been working on it. Anyway, we're actually much closer than I thought. So our goal is to get through the main quest all the way up to what they currently have available next weekend, and then the weekend after we'll be able to do the event, and potentially the weekend after that we might finally do like a stream that has both Star Rail and Genshin, because while we wait for Star Rail to have some new content, though we will have to go through the companion missions and side quests that are available, so that might just be what we do. But once we run out of stuff to do, we might start working on Genshin. I'm not gonna make a new Genshin game because I've done way too much on my Genshin account to start a new save profile. But we'll pick up on my Genshin game where I currently am, which is in the Sumeru area, and we will do some quests on there as we get ready for Fontaine, because I have a lot of the main mission to go through to be able to actually do Fontaine when it comes out. And I can show you all how much I've done when it comes to exploration, because I have everything except for Sumeru completely 100% explored. I am quite proud of that. I'm not excited to 100% Sumeru though. It's gonna be a lot of work. Alright, but thank you all so much for watching. We had a very fun stream. I still didn't fully explain Debut or Die, but I do heavily suggest it. I did have I can't recommend exactly where to read it, because I read it on, you know, those third-party websites that are frowned upon, and so you never should give out your third-party site recommendations, because that's what gets them taken down. And then where would I read it? But yeah, I would heavily suggest Debut or Die though. What is it? I saw it recently. It's like Loose Lips Sink Pirate Ships. Yeah. But anyway, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day. As I stated, I'll be playing again on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll tell you all when I shift it to 3 p.m. It won't be for like a week or two. Probably in August. And I post TikToks that we were talking about. I post them on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Yes. I already posted one earlier today for today. And then I also post the raw footage of these streams on YouTube, where it's just completely unedited. It's just the stream as an archive. And I post them on Wednesdays and Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will, I swear, start editing the videos down into more concise clips that only have the important stuff and the funny moments. So thank you all so much for watching. We will see you again soon, and have a lovely week. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. Or to the as much as you can. And goodbye.